Hello, all, and welcome to Becoming Mighty and Morphin, a podcast based on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers tabletop game brought to us all graciously by Renegade Game. And this game in particular is hosted by Rem Alternus Productions. Shout out to Rem and to all the hardworking people that are both in front of and behind the camera. Rem Alternus Productions, get into it. I'm John McDonald. My pronouns are he, they, and on Sunday nights, I mainly play Cannabon Rec, the genderqueer jewel-eyebrowed gnome that likes to stab as a form of love in the steampunk D&D universe of Like Clockwork. And for this podcast, I am terrifyingly and wonderfully in charge as the Zordon-esque game master. And this is my first time game mastering a campaign, and I am excited to be here. Let's go around the table and have everyone introduce themselves and their character, and also tell me what your favorite kind of dessert is for a sort of icebreaker. Or if you're not a dessert person, an appetizer is just fine. Just tell me what kind of snack you like. And I'll start on my left. We'll start with we'll start with Jane. Let's start with Jane. We'll do it that way.
Hi, I am Elizabeth, or Isabeth on Discord everywhere. Tonight I will be playing Jane Russell. I have been playing D&D for a long time. I've done some other stuff like Shadowrun here and there, but primarily I have been a D&D player and more recently a game master. I will be joining Panabon on Sundays in a couple of weeks in the Like Clockwork universe. So that is very exciting. I'm super excited about that. I also help out with Rem Alternus as a video editor. So yeah, my favorite dessert is pretty much anything chocolate.
I love that.
I love chocolate. That is me. And I'm super excited to be here. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you, Jane. Underneath Jane, we have Quentin. Hello, Quentin.
Hello. I am Andrew Bryant, or Roadkill, in the Discord and kind of Twitch community a little bit. I am playing Quentin Turner, and I mean, my favorite dessert is ice cream. I'm a simple kind of person, so you can never go wrong with ice cream.
It's true, you can't go wrong with ice cream unless it's really hot and it melts, and then it's...
Well, you just got to eat it quick, though. You have a timetable with that.
Brain freezes for the week.
Oh, yeah, right.
Brain freezes for the week. Cecily, would your character... Cecily, is it Cecily or Cecily? How would you like?
Cecily. Yeah. My name is Lottie West. I also make content underneath the moniker Chaotic High Femme. I do a lot of LARP, TTRPG, and nerd-lesque content. So I'm always just kind of figuring my nerdy self out all the time. My favorite dessert is probably ice cream too. Soft serve is usually my favorite. I love just, I can bite ice cream. A lot of people can't. Again, brain freeze, teeth freeze. It's for the weak, and I'm not weak.
That's good. You're going to need that. Zordon appreciates that. I appreciate that very much. I'm more of a frozen custard type when I can get it, but custard is hard.
Oh, that's so good though.
And then we'll go next to Brick Kerrigan. Hello, Brick.
Hello. Hi, my real name is John Blair. You can find me on the internets, usually under the moniker @ChunkyLove. And I'll be playing Brick Kerrigan. He is a tough but lovable high school baseball player with a heart of gold. So I'm excited to do that. This is my first D&D game of all time ever, so we'll see how it goes.
Ooh,
and my favorite ice cream or Brick's favorite? My favorite dessert or Brick's favorite dessert?
I mean, I'm not going to know if you lie, so it could be yours and Brick's.
I will. I'll know if he lies.
If it's ice cream, it's a turtle sundae. But if it's dessert, it's I like pie.
Pie is a good choice. Pie is a very good choice.
Very versatile. It's a good pie is worth its weight in pie. Really. And then finally joining us at the table, our fifth soon-to-be ranger, Eddy Thatch. Hello, Eddy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Bryant. I am an elder sibling of Andrew there.
Yep.
As good or as bad as it may or may not be for either one of us.
Depends on the day.
Yeah. I go by the name Jester on Discord and in the general communities. I've done that for quite a long time with about 2,000 other highly overcaffeinated children. And I've been involved with REM just a really, really little bit way back at the start of shows like the Dresden Files thing before we figured out that my computer's a potato and I had to step down. I also help out the Frag and Unicorn Games crowd with various things when I'm able to. My character is Eddy Thatch. He is a lovable oddball sort. Is the kind of hope that I intend to portray with him. And my personal favorite is the creme brulee.
Ooh, creme brulee is a good choice.
Good choice.
Fancy.
Getting classy now. We went from ice cream and pie to creme brulee.
Thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves. So this is session 0 of this campaign, Becoming Mighty and Morphin. We don't use G's in this universe for whatever reason. And I will attempt, as we go through the next 12 episodes, to explain the rules of this TTRPG, or for the uninitiated tabletop role-playing game. The Power Rangers gaming system uses something called Essence 20. It's not quite D&D. It's kind of its own little beast. And this is also my first time with the system, along with everyone else. This game is relatively new. And I am very, very excited to get going. If you're listening to this and you have the rule book and you're following along and we make a mistake, sorry about it. We're just here. I think it actually says on page 3, like, don't worry about the rules as much as having fun. And I like that. So we're just going to all do our best here. We're going to get through this together. And over the first 3 or 4 episodes, especially, I will try to explain everything that we're doing, or at least some things that we're doing, because not everything is explainable. All that rambling aside, I think we are ready to get started. If we are ready, give a yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we are ready to start. So we are officially beginning this campaign. Very exciting. You cannot believe the day is here. It is the last day of your junior year of high school. You know, you kind of hate that you live in Angel Grove because you don't automatically graduate, the year that you turn 18, like you see in most high schools in film or on TV. But senior year in Angel Grove is you're 18 to 19 years old, and, it can make or break your future when it comes to, like, quote unquote, the real world. So it's a small sacrifice to play kind of by, like, grease rules and be 18 at the end of your junior year. And so I need everyone to roll a d20, please. And if you have not used Roll20, or if you're using physical dice, please let me know what score you get, because no one will see it except for me, because we're on podcast. What do we have here? Jane, what did you get?
I got an 8.
Cecily, what did you get?
I got an 18.
Ooh,
Big roller.
there you go. Eddy, what did you get?
I rolled a 6.
Rolled a 6. Quentin, what did you get?
13.
And Brick, what did you get?
19.
Got a 19. We are going to start off then with Brick. Brick,
Ooh.
does your character usually have vivid dreams?
Yeah, Brick has a lot of stress dreams about being a top baseball star. He has a lot of dreams about making sure that he is able to, pursue his dreams for his family, and being able to being able to help support his family later in life. Puts a lot of effort into his work, and he values that a lot. So he has a lot of stress dreams about making it, and they're very vivid, for sure.
Well, then you're not really surprised that you're having a vivid dream. You are a little surprised that you're not on the baseball field. In fact, you don't seem to be in Angel Grove anymore. You are in some sort of like movie set alley. It's like this weird open air bazaar, for lack of better terminology. You're not exactly sure what your brain is telling you, but your brain is definitely trying to tell you something. Is there anything that piques your interest in this open air marketplace?
This open air marketplace, I'm noticing that there's maybe something glowing, perhaps.
Well, there is
And
something. There is something glowing because you've got the sun beaming down directly. So, like, you can head toward things that are glowing. That's perfectly fine. But while you're heading towards things that are glowing, I want you to give me a finesse roll.
Finesse roll.
Give me a finesse roll. Something just rolled.
It looks like you got an 18.
Okay. All right. So I did that for you just to see what happened, and that didn't really work out in your favor. But we're going to work on that. So basically what we can do, if we're having trouble with the character sheets, but you can still see what you've got, is you can just use a D20 and then an extra dice of whatever you have. So for instance, your finesse brick is set to a D2 because you put a point in it. And so to do finesse, you could roll a D20 and a D2 and tell me what you got with those two numbers, if you want to do that. If that would be easier.
Sure. Okay. For my D20, I got a 15. And then I don't have a D2, but I have a D4.
You can flip a coin.
Yeah, do you have
I
like
can
a
flip
do you have like a
coin.
penny or something hanging around?
Oh, do I?
We're all gonna figure this out together. That's what's great about kind of session 0 here. We're all gonna figure this out together.
So he's doing a finesse roll. He's got a D2 to roll, or is that part done?
So the D2 is an added bonus to it.
Gotcha.
Like essentially when you put the point into it, then you get the extra, and it becomes more useful as you get more extra to it.
What side is which? Am I doing heads is 1, tails is 2, or does it
Sure.
matter?
Yeah.
Heads is
We
1,
know
tails
before
is
you
2.
flip.
Let's do it.
Yeah. It is your choice. I'm not going to know the difference.
Okay, I got tails, and I said that's 2, so
Yes. So what was the total of those two together?
15 plus 2 is 17. If I'm correct, if my calculations are correct.
Okay. Well, with
Yeah.
a 17, your finesse means that you avoid the fabric bolts that come out of the there are these wicker baskets near the shiny object that you are drawn to, and out of them comes these like fabric snakes. They look like snakes, but upon closer examination, they're more woven. It's like a fabric, and it kind of lunges out at you to try to wrap you and grab you, and you avoid that.
Oh, nice.
And I need you to give me an alertness roll.
Okay.
You don't notice anything.
Nice.
Nice.
You do not notice anything in your.
Oh,
in
I
your
don't even
awareness.
notice that these snakes are attacking me.
Well, that was not for the snake attacking you. That was for something else. You do, however, need to roll a finesse for me again to avoid the snake in the other basket.
Okay, we've got more snakes and more baskets to avoid.
At least 2.
Finesse.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Okay, you avoid that snake successfully, but while avoiding that snake, you fall and you hit your head on the floor, and you go right back to sleep. Next is going to be Cecily.
Let's do it.
You ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Let's see how ready you are for this. Okay, Cecily, you don't see anything at first. At first, you hear kind of familiar noises, and it sounds like a blacksmith shop to you in your ears. But when you open your eyes, all you see is a dirt road. And when you turn around, all you see is a dirt road facing the other direction. And then you hear the sound of clomping speed from someone rushing towards you. And on the horizon, they get closer and closer. And you're pretty sure it's a knight on some kind of steed. I need you to give me an intimidation roll.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. How intimidating are you going to be?
We'll see. And it's successful.
You are
very intimidating.
You actually are successful enough that you stop this thing in its tracks for just a moment. But then it starts coming towards you again, and you realize that this is a knight on a horse, but it is also a night horse. The closer it gets to you, the more it looks like one fused being. And the most disconcerting thing is probably that you can't see eyeballs the closer it gets. It's just like blackness in the hood thing. And it has a jester pole, and it is going to throw the jester pole in your direction. And I need you to give me a acrobatics.
Let's see what she's got.
I believe in you.
We're going to try today.
You're going to try today. Give me an acrobatics and give me that try.
Oh, no.
Oh, she did not make it on the acrobatics check.
Well, this could still go your way. Give me an
alertness. Let's try it. Alertness. I am asleep, so, could be rough. Another one.
Oh, then you do not notice the thing because you are currently getting hit in your side by a weird-looking lance. Yes, lance was the word. But you now have control of the lance. You want to attempt to hit.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go for it.
Then I want you to actually give me a targeting.
Man, apparently I'm not very good at fighting in my sleep.
Nope. And that you tried to target, and that just kind of did one of those little triangle things where it goes a couple of feet and then it goes plunk, and it hits kind of the dirt sand. And the last thing you hear before you fall unconscious is the sound of this night creature laughing. And I'm going to give you a second shot on your alertness roll before you fall.
Ooh, that's okay. We're going to try it one more time. Success!
Get a success. So you are just as the sound of that cruel laughter hits your ears, the entire world for just a second, just a blur of a second before you fall back asleep, turns blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're asleep again. After Cecily, we should be Quentin. Quentin, you're going to go next. Are you ready, Quentin?
Yeah. All right. So with your question of whether or not he has vivid dreams normally, as a creative individual like he is, he probably does. But I'm thinking since he doesn't really get much sleep most nights, he rarely remembers all of the dreams, if most of it. So,
okay. Yeah. Well, this may be a memorable dream. We'll find out.
That would definitely make it stand out.
Yeah. So you wake up in this dream on one side of a divide, and both sides of the divide are kind of this green grass area. And it's like wooden picnic tables have been set up. You can smell the grass. You can just kind of hear the bees and the dragonflies buzzing. This is like a perfect kind of summer day. There's food on the picnic table if you're hungry. And it's just, there's your side, there's this canyon divide, and then there's another side that is pretty much the same as your side.
All right. He would look around, try to see if there's anybody that would be the owner of said food while he slowly moves towards the food.
There's no one here but you, as far as you know.
I'm going to assume it's my food then, and I'm going to eat.
As you're trying to eat this food, I need you to give me a survival check.
Ooh. Yeah, I got a 6.
So as you grab, what kind of food do you like to have at a picnic, Quentin?
Probably hot dogs. So very general, basic thing.
You grab for these hot dogs, but they turn into sand in your hand. And it's kind of sad because they smelled really good. But what's about to be more sad is I need you to give me a finesse.
Okay. He is quite distraught at the moment about not being able to eat the hot dogs.
Let's see if there's more distraught.
Oh, no.
So you're not sure this is how dreams normally work with this 5, which is a failure. But you're pretty sure that you've never had a dream in which something actually gave you like the feeling of a paper cut on your skin. You realize about half a second after you get this paper cut that it came from a real live music in silver that has landed on the table. And you turn around to find that on the side of the crevasse that you are not on is a kind of cartoonish looking Viking blob character. It's like if Fraggle Rock made a Viking, kind of, or like Father Christmas from the Muppet Christmas Carol. And they have what I would generously describe as a kind of like evil flute lance, I guess. There's no other way to put it. And they are going to blow another note in your direction. What do you want to do?
I'll probably try to talk to this cartoonish looking Viking character.
Okay. Do you want to
and plead that he
intimidate?
doesn't send C# my way again?
Okay. Use persuasion instead of intimidation. I would like to give you I would like you to give me a persuasion roll.
All right.
Persuasion in this universe conveys diplomacy, embellishments, flattery, romance, and truth.
Nice.
17.
Yeah.
What do you say to this evil Viking across this crevasse to keep them?
From playing another violent note at
Playing another violent note and sending it in your direction.
I'll just ask him if he could play any of his beautiful music in a softer tone rather than the sharp tones.
The Viking was not expecting that. The Viking just kind of looks at you and isn't sure what's going to happen, but they attempt to play a note, and I need you to give me an alertness roll. At the last second, they decided against doing you a favor, and now you need to dodge another. I need another finesse so that you dodge.
All right.
Dodge this is going to be a D sharp instead of a C sharp this time.
Oh, no.
They're all sharp. I mean,
right. It's all bad. But,
it's all bad.
I mean, at least he's changing it up a little.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So the last thing.
So if it doesn't involve my words, it is horrible. That's what I'm learning from the character.
The last thing that happens to you as you fall asleep is that you are smacked in the forehead by this D. It ends up being a D flat, oddly enough. And you end up
damage. I got it.
Smacked in the forehead, and you end up falling back into a picnic table. And the last thing you feel is the sand of the rest of the food on the table turning into sand around you as like a last mocking moment.
Ah, so hungry.
And after that, after Quentin, we have Jane. Jane, are you ready?
I am.
You don't really have a choice. You're going to have a dream anyway.
She sometimes has vivid dreams, mostly during stressful times or times of big change, or when she is in the middle of a project.
Well, you're not sure, but this might be the most stressful dream you've ever had to go along with whatever stress you have in life. You're not sure when this happened. You're pretty sure you fell asleep in your bed at home, but you wake up in a barracks at midnight. You specifically end up in like a training barracks where it's one of those 20-row double bunks one way, 20-row double bunks another way. And instead of like a mural in the center of the room, there's a pit of fire. But there's no smoke coming out of it, which is great because the room is already incredibly dark. And there's barely anything coming out of the moon. And you kind of expect to hear something. Kind of expect to hear like a siren or like the sound of people like doing late night fire drills or something like that. But you hear flapping wings in the darkness and shadows of this barracks.
Can I tell which direction the flapping sound is coming from?
You can tell which direction if you roll a... Give me an alertness.
No.
Alertness in this universe covers insight, investigation, and perception.
Oh,
It
dear.
sounds like it's coming from every corner of the room. It is literally, it could be behind your head. It could be coming from the pit of fire. It could be coming from outside. And it's a pretty big room. Do you want to explore? Do you want to say anything?
I want to kind of call out, hello? Is anybody in here? And I want to kind of make my way towards the fire pit in the center of the room.
Okay, making your way towards the fire pit, saying hello. You're going to hear, poor little Jane, lost and alone, no friends, no one to look out for you, no one to help you. And out of the fire, a giant creature that you kind of think looks like a sphinx, but now is on fire, pops out of this fire pit and is going to attempt to scratch you. And so here you can decide if you would like to grapple a dark and dangerous fire claw, or if you would like to finesse your way out of the situation.
What would the grapple be? What role would that be?
Grapple is under might.
They're the same, so I'm going to try to finesse my way.
Okay, give me a finesse.
Okay.
You almost made it. You almost do it. The 9 almost got you there.
Oh no.
But a couple of claws just grab at your arm and bolt you and start to pull you closer and closer to the edge of this fire.
Can I now try to grapple to get away?
Grappling will give you the upper hand. So give me a might roll. See what happens. There are now 4 claws out of 5 on your arm, and you're being grabbed to the edge of the fire pit. Give me an alertness roll.
Goodness. I passed one. Barely.
For just a moment before the Sphinx pulls you into the fire, which is orange and black and yellow and is very fire, the whole of your dream, just for a blink, just for a moment, turns red and then goes right back to the dream as you're pulled into the fire pit. Is there anything you'd like to say as the fire Sphinx pulls you into the fire pit?
Well, shoot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Would you like, I will give you, if you want, I will give you 1 might, and I will let you deck the fire Sphinx on the way out of your dream, if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 might. I want to give you a punch here. Well, you tried to swing, and that's the important thing. That's the important lesson as you fall back to sleep. The last thing I want you to think is, I tried. Okay, and then that means I think everyone is gone but Eddy. Eddy, are you ready for your dream?
Oh.
Okay. All right, Eddy, how do you dream? Do you have a lot of vivid dreams?
Something going on there, but when they wake up, there's absolutely no memory of it. It's basically like a clean wipe on the mental space of it.
Okay. Well, it's good that you vivid dream. It may not be so good that you talk in your sleep in this case, because you were pretty sure you went to bed and you didn't go to bed in an abandoned amusement park. You are in a hall of mirrors where the walls seem to be breathing. Really, for lack of better terminology, like things are moving in a regular cadence. But you are in a hall of mirrors, complete with like fog on the floor. What do you want to do in this hall of mirrors in your dream?
Like pulses in a bit of fascination as to the unusual circumstances, wander a little bit as you would do in a hall of mirrors.
Sure. Give me infiltration. Give me an infiltration roll.
Hey.
Okay. Well, you don't notice the creature that is hopping from mirror to mirror. That looks like a shadow. As you are examining this room, you come to a mirror, and the mirror lights up, and it lights up in gold. And you see a reflection of yourself. And this reflection has just heard the funniest joke that it has ever heard. This reflection of you is doubled over completely in laughter. And after a few moments, it actually seems to beckon to you before this clawed hand comes out of this mirror and tries to grab you. And I need you to give me a finesse roll.
All right, finesse time.
Unless you want to try something else, it's up to you. But you've got a claw coming out of a thing for you, so.
I'm much more of a burly individual than a dexterous one, so I don't know if there might be anything that would make more sense on that, but I think the roll is all the same. Okay, well, you have a claw coming out of a mirror that was definitely not there 2 seconds ago. So however you would like to face this claw would be ideal. I'm just going to grab it and hold on to it myself while I'm trying to make sense of what's going on.
All right.
Like I said, I'll try to get the upper hand.
Right. Give me a might then.
Yay! That's a nice big roll.
That was a nice roll. You don't just grapple this claw. When you grapple it, you actually pull this creature half out of the mirror, and this creature is, lack of better terminology, eyeballs. This creature is nothing but eyeballs. It is an arm, but it is also eyeballs that make up its arm, and it is an eyeball head. Everything is eyeballs. I need you to give me an alertness roll, and I want you to do it with edge. And this edge means that basically it's going to roll twice, and whichever one is the higher roll is the roll that you get.
So that should be the roll with edge.
So you see two things, and it all kind of happens at once. So you're going to have to figure out how you handle this. Remember this. The first part of it is that everything in the room turns kind of purple and black for longer than a moment. For anyone else that had the alertness roll where they saw the color, it was just for the briefest, barest glimpses of a second. But for you, it's about 5 seconds, and it happens while you're grappled on this clawed eye creature. And you also notice out of the corner of your eye a woman that definitely shouldn't be there. You don't know why she shouldn't be there, but there's something about her that your entire body is like, nope, out of the dream. And in that second, you fall back asleep. Like her mere presence just like noped you out of this very successful dream you're having.
And no, thank you, Baba Yaga. I go home now.
Yeah, no, thank you, Baba Yaga. But as you're kind of noping out of the dream, you notice in the clouds there's like this really great purple lightning thunder effect happening. Like if you've ever been around something before a tornado happens, it's very that. There's a lot of energy. And so that was an edge. When something really cool happens, or you're specializing in something that's really unique to you, I'll tell you that you can roll edge, and that'll give you advantage. And if you have a snag, that's disadvantage. So it does it the opposite way too. Okay, so everyone had their dreams. Okay, so you all have passed out in your individual dreams, but you get absolutely no rest the evening of. You just toss and you turn all nights, and you do not consider what you end up getting anything like a good night's sleep. You wake up feeling tired, groggy, and your mouth is just like, it's so dry it feels like you did a 5K across a desert landscape before you got home and crashed into bed 5 minutes ago. You are drained. You are out of it. But
so like I ate sand.
Like everybody feels like they ate sand. It's not just you. But for you, it's a little more real, because if you remember your dream, the bittersweetness of the hot dogs is still there with you. But
Oh my God, it smells delicious, tastes like grit. Got it.
So all that to be said, you've had this dream, you're tired, but you still have school in the morning. It is your last day of junior year in high school, and there are some traditions that you just cannot wiggle out of, even if you're tired. You have one last exam you really have to do. You have to clean out your locker. Those are the rules. And you have to do the celebratory class picnic. You cannot get out of these events. They are important to the school. In some ways, they're important to you, no matter what your social status is. And so you are a little muddled. Does anyone want to talk about any traditions that they have for breakfast if they help out their family. And I'm going to tell you why I'm asking this, is because partially as we tell the story together, you're going to find out a lot about yourselves and your home life. But if you impress me, I'll also give you a story point. And those story points can really help later. So does anybody want to talk about like a slice of life moment for their character, for them getting breakfast, them getting ready for school?
I think that Cecily's family, since they're kind of weird, kind of offbeat, they have chickens, and she would totally go and grab some eggs to like start the day. She's used to waking up early. She's used to getting ready for the day. Her dad is shadow fencing in the living room that is just adorned with various swords, and she scoots by him in kind of a comedic way while she's got eggs in her hands trying to like start breakfast, but she gets elbowed in the face because she's tired and her dad is used to her having a better reaction time.
I'm going to give you a story point for making yourself vulnerable in the universe to that. So I'm going to give you a story point for miscommunication between family. And I'm going to let everybody know that all the story points for you as Rangers, future Rangers, you're not Rangers yet, are communal. So everyone's going to get one at the start of every session. But as you accrue them, they kind of go into a pool. So even if you run out, you can always ask your friends to borrow a story point if you want to reroll stuff, because that's one of the things you can do. But no, I like that. So that was good. Anybody else want to do like a morning breakfast preschool tradition thing?
Yeah, Quentin will wake up from that dream and have a bit of a harder time getting up from his bed, which is really just a mattress on the floor. And he'll get dressed for the day, kind of get freshened up and everything, go towards the kitchen, grab a granola bar, which is probably the equivalent of what his breakfast is going to be, and head on his way out the door to wait for whatever bus or walk, depending on how close to the school he lives.
Does the granola bar taste like sand? Is it super unfulfilling?
The granola bars that they have normally do, they're whole wheat flavored.
Ooh.
That's about it.
Okay.
So
it's not quite as sad for you because you're expecting the sand taste.
Right, yeah. It's a slight step up from sand.
There we go.
Nutrition flavor.
Exactly. Just pure nutrition. That's all it is.
Okay. Well, so everyone is going to be taking this test because all the juniors take this test. It's kind of a rite of passage. And I need everyone to decide if they're going to roll culture or if they're going to roll persuasion to see how they did on this test. And the difference is for culture, culture is about history, language, psychology, and what is the other one that I said? And the other one is persuasion. And persuasion is like diplomacy, romance, truth. You really pumped yourself up to do well on this one. So give me a culture or give me a persuasion.
I have diplomacy as a specialization. May I use that?
Yeah, you got a specialization in persuasion. Use it or lose it. That's what I always say.
Self-diplomacy. I like it.
Okay, so Cecily got an 8. Jane got a 17. Good job, Jane. Quentin got a 17. That sand granola bar really helped. Eddy got a 23.
Oh, we both.
Oh, okay. So for Eddy, Quentin, and Jane, you studied well. You got a tutor. You had a Nutri-Grain bar. Thank God. It wasn't a breeze, but all things considered, you at least leave the classroom knowing that you did the best that you could do. It was at least a B effort, if not better. And it felt like it was through sheer force of will, if for nothing else. For Britt and Cecily, you're distracted by your low scores, and you're going to have a snag on the next test that you have. And I'll tell you when that test happens. And you were just really distracted. If you're really big on doing well on tests, you're trying not to cry as you head to kind of, all the juniors have lockers kind of in the same area. That's just how it happens at Angel Grove High. And so you're all headed to your individual lockers. A lot of other people have cleaned their lockers out during the week for whatever reason. The 5 of you have put off cleaning your lockers. It's the same kind of general long American high school locker. It's kind of that dull gray-green color. You can decorate the inside, but the outsides are super conformist. It's not big enough to hold Ren Fair equipment, sadly, so it can't be personalized for everybody. But it's one of those things where, like, you can put up a couple of pictures and things like that. Anyone that has watched the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TV show knows their hallways were for some reason yellow, and they had fake red linoleum flooring, if I remember correctly. So you've got that. So you're only really bothered by it if you love interior design. But you are now all cleaning out your lockers in very close proximity to one another, whether you know each other very well or not. And if anybody wants a conversation starter, I have an option for that, but you can definitely talk to each other.
Did we all just take the same test in the same class? Or?
You all have very similar classes, and you all took it's not like an evaluation of smarts. It was, let's say you all took a pre-algebra final.
Yeah.
Let's say no algebra 2, because algebra 2 would have been. Let's say
Makes
you all
sense
took,
that I failed then.
You all took an algebra. That's what happened. It was algebra 2. Sorry about it, everyone. I'm giving everybody a flashback. But you all took an algebra 2 test, and some of you did well, and some of you didn't do so great.
Would I be able to pick up on perhaps that Cecily and Rock kind of have a little bit of a down vibe on the moment, or
yeah, that's kind of what I would try to.
I think Cecily's going to be visibly upset, but you don't really know her that well, just in context, because she's only been here for about a semester, just so you know. Okay. But she is definitely kind of a weirdo. She's got like a long dress on with like ties in the front, but it's like kind of like cottagecore.
Yeah, you can do like a streetwise, which streetwise is usually used for gossip, but I'm going to let streetwise be kind of psychic insight for this round. If you want to use streetwise.
So I will give that a shot.
I will do so as well. Right.
Quentin got a 16. You are very emotionally. It's all the sand. Like you feel it. It's like sand of the soul is what it is.
Sand of the soul. I like.
And Jane, you did pretty good for that. You got an 11. So you don't get it. You don't get quite the vibe that Quentin gets, but the 11 is like, yeah, not everybody is good at math. So there's good chance.
I am aloof as can be.
Eddy is just like, is this a brown banana peel? When did I have a banana last?
Is this a bird?
What are we rolling for?
Try to read emotionally the 2 characters that didn't do well.
Yeah, it's us. It's us.
I think going to shout out to Quentin, like, hey, how did you do in that test? I think I aced it.
Yeah, I think I did all right. Yeah.
Well, I did not do well at all. I did pretty bad on that test. Thanks for asking me. Okay.
dude, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
playing
about that. It's okay. It's no big deal. I was busy practicing anyway, so it wasn't. I knew I was going to probably not do well.
It's hard to keep up with everything when you do sports, man. The valiant effort either way.
Yeah, I tried, but thanks anyway.
Cecily, is it right?
Cecily.
Cecily, I'm sorry. You're new here, right?
Yes. This is like the longest I've been at a school for a while, and my parents are going to absolutely murder me when they find out that I'm going to have to probably take summer school. It's going to be the worst.
Oh.
We have too much to do in the summer.
Do you think there would be a way that you could do a retake of it or anything rather than do summer school?
I don't know if it'll help. I couldn't sleep very well last night, and I am somebody who requires 8 hours plus. If I don't have chamomile or something before, maybe I forgot it. I'm just, I couldn't sleep well. I'm sure that's why I didn't do as well as I had prepared, but who knows,
Yeah, I didn't really sleep well either, actually.
I think I'm just lucky. I kind of do well under stress on some occasions.
Yeah,
same here.
I think I average maybe 3 hours a night, so maybe I get used to it. I don't know.
Man, dude, at least all right. That's a bit.
Sorry. It's not anything. I mean, sleep is a really important thing, and if you know you need it, you need it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But no, I know going into a test, mindset's everything. So if you were feeling off for any reason, it's understandable. Maybe talking to the administrator or anything might be able to get you some sort of ability to.
Maybe they'll let you
make up
retake
for
it.
it.
If you need a
Yeah.
tutor, I can help you. I think I did okay.
Yeah, I think I did
Maybe.
okay too. I might be able to help out.
Now,
Same thing with you, Brick. If you need help studying,
Oh, thanks, guys. I really appreciate that.
Quentin, how is your sense of smell?
I think his sense of smell would be generally good. I mean, nothing, I guess, better than average.
Okay. Cecily, you're going to smell this because I think you'd smell this before anyone else would, based on your background. You smell high karate cologne, like super 80s brand, almost to the brink of offensive high karate cologne. And that means all 5 of you know, because you're all going to start smelling before too long, that Principal Kaplan is going to be coming around the corner. It's Principal Kaplan because of the high karate cologne. But Principal Kaplan also has classic squeaky principal shoe, and he has a very kind of distinct cadence that is a signature. Do not stare at his very obvious toupee. He hates when people stares at his very obvious toupee. He does have a really wicked mustache, which is great. And as he comes around the corner, you see Mrs. Appleby is also with him, and Mrs. Appleby has been a history teacher for most of you. She teaches history for sophomores, juniors. You might have homeroom with her. She's one of the teachers that everybody likes. She always has a smile, kind words. She thinks the best of people. Principal Kaplan kind of stands there with kind of a military-like bearing, body language, very proper, and his tone is very clipped and businesslike. And Kaplan looks at the 5 of you imperiously and says, "Future seniors, I hope that we'll have an uneventful year next year. I trust you'll utilize your break well. I expect you to retain what you've learned. So we start senior year outright 3 months from now. Not 3 months and a day, but 3 months from now." And Mrs. Appleby kind of replies, "Oh, they will. They're good kids. I just want to congratulate all of you for finishing your junior year. No, I'll miss having you in class, but Mrs. Ponderosa is an excellent instructor if you're staying in European history. Are you excited about senior year, kids?"
yeah, I mean, why not?
Very excited.
If it gets me one step closer to the league, I'm excited.
Ah, yes. Quite
No,
right.
I might
quite
have
right.
to get your autograph now then.
We'll see. Hopefully, I get some good scouts.
We do want everyone on as equal footing as possible. Everyone at Angel Grove High is as important as everyone else, Principal Kaplan says, even though he's wearing a athletics pin on his tie lapel. And I need everyone to roll a d20, and I'm going to give the snag at this point to Cecily and Brick, I think, were the ones that needed the snag, right? You were the ones that failed, yeah. So everybody's going to roll a d20, and then Brick and Cecily will give me a d20 with the snag. So whichever is lower of your roll. Yeah, you got a 9 for that, so you don't have to reroll. Everybody go.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm going to say that 2 is probably the lowest.
Yeah. Ooh,
I'm gonna go with 2 is lowest. So Principal Kaplan looks at.
Juicy did get a 17 earlier.
I did. Okay. I
But
didn't
that was
see
you
that
were rolling with disadvantage.
Yeah, you had a snag for that, so
that's
it was gonna,
Oh
yeah.
no.
So Principal Kaplan is now looking at one of the baseball players,
Oh god.
and just kind of his gaze kind of focuses on you, and he looks you in the eye and says, "Which classes will you be taking next year, young man?"
Well, I'll be finishing up history with. What is it? I'm in. I need to look at my schedule. Sorry, Principal. I've just got so much on my mind.
But Principal Kaplan is going to reply after clearing his throat. "Let's try to work on that confidence, both out on the field and for senior year, shall we? You are the future, and you set the example for the new freshmen. coming in, Mr. Kerrigan. Imagine that coming from your principal. It's not great. And Mrs. Appleby butts in and says, Principal Kaplan, I have an idea. The student council has been really busy and hasn't had time to properly work on picnic planning for the end of the year picnic tomorrow. I stepped in as part of the faculty advisory committee, but there are little things we need help with, like arriving early to help set up at the park, things like that. Would you kids be interested in assisting? It would mean the world to me, and we have this voucher to help pay for all the food and things like that. Is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, I'd help. Why not?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Wonderful. That's fine. Thank you all for volunteering.
Absolutely. I'd love to help out.
Yeah, the rest of you don't get a chance to respond. She's like, 3 out of 5 is good. They're all going to do it. And she says, you are really good kids. Oh, but many hands will make light work. I think tomorrow while you're setting up, we'll send Bukowski and Skolovich to help you. They're such nice boys, but they've just lost their way a little bit. You can be really good influences on them. And Quentin, Mrs. Appleby hands you this voucher thing that has like a little bulk barcode. And she says, good friends lead to good people. Do your best with these snacks. Try to get something salty, something sweet, and something hearty like sub sandwiches. You can use Ernie's juice bar if you want to, but we also have other grocery stores in the city. This should be enough to pay for everything you need for what do we have, 115? I think we have 115 coming. This should be enough to pay for everything. And then Principal Kaplan gives Mrs. Appleby the eyeball for trusting students too much. And he ushers her away before she basically gives you the school. And you have been left to now plan getting food and showing up to a park picnic for the junior class of 115 people.
So we have to
get food
ready
fast.
for 115?
The voucher has enough money for it, and the people will know what to do with the voucher if you hand it to them, because they're very used to this thing happening. This is an annual event at
Standing order kind of thing.
Yeah, this is like a standing, someone's going to be coming for this food, and you just all happen to be in the hallway. So now you're all working together to basically be the opening planning committee of this picnic event.
All right.
And Quentin, you're holding a gift card worth more money than probably you've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, probably. I'm a little torn about what to do with said card, but I'll take a look over to the rest of them and be like, so what do you guys think we should get for this? I mean, the best thing I can think of is hot dogs, but I don't know.
Well, I'm sure that there's vegetarians and stuff, so we should probably get something that's vegetarian and something that's gluten-free and something that maybe doesn't have pork in it, because I know that some people don't eat pork.
Yeah. Is that what's in a hot dog?
Sometimes, I think.
All right. I guess I just never really questioned what it was. It's probably bad of me.
Maybe
I
some
think that's why
fruit.
it's called a hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
But
well,
no,
if we
fruit
do
sounds
a grocery
great.
store.
Some veggies of some kind, probably.
Yeah, we could probably get a veggie platter with with dip, and maybe a fresh fruit platter and
A charcuterie board?
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
Charcuterie.
Oh.
It's French. It's hard to say.
I didn't do well in French either.
At least I'm pretty sure it's French. I don't know.
I just always called those a cheese plate, man.
Well, if you get
that
it,
sounds
it
great.
elevates it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. More fancier.
Yeah, I mean, it's generally just a collection of breads, cheeses, meats. But
Probably need some drinks, though, right? Should we get some drinks?
Yeah. Lemonade.
I'll make the
would probably be
punch.
good.
Lemonade. Punch. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
punch.
Great. Good
I'll
idea.
make some punch. Just don't let the principal see the punch.
Maybe some
that'd be
bottled
something
water
to
too.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Bottled water would be good, especially if we got Brick's punch. going on.
At that point, you think we should get some Powerade, I guess? People might need their electrolytes after that.
What's going on
I
in the
assume
punch?
that was the base of the punch, but
I think Cecily is going to just be so confused at you guys joking about the punch. She's like, but what does it mean?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I just
Okay.
wouldn't drink it if I were you.
yeah, it'll
Oh.
probably have a very strong flavor to it. But,
Okay.
You might not like
May
it,
or
so we'll
may
try to make
not
sure to have
hint
other
of
things
fermentation.
available. Give people options.
Well, we should probably like go to a grocery store or something. And, like make sure they have enough because like what is it like? How many people go to this school?
Well, this is
A
just
lot.
this is just for the juniors. So
Yeah,
you're
so
I
only
think she said it was
115.
115.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a
Wait, we could always do like the buffet cater style kind of thing where people go up and grab what they want. And we just have the options there.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can help with the cooking.
Well,
And the more fresh stuff like the veggies and fruit and
It depends on my imagination. Would be like we'd be purchasing a service or something, but I might be wrong.
I mean, maybe that's what we use this voucher for, but it seems like we're going to a grocery store of some kind. I could be wrong.
yeah.
so do we all want to
did you
go?
guys, like, well, I was just curious if do we want to like get our hands dirty on this one and actually like someone mentioned cooking, and I'm not exactly against something like that. Sounds kind of fun.
I mean, I like cooking, but I don't know if I could cook for everyone. That's a lot.
Well,
I do have a
when
lot
we
of
have
help
our
for like
when,
soup kitchens and stuff. So I'm used to cooking in bulk.
I would like everyone to give me a streetwise roll, by the way. And streetwise in this case is all about knowing how to transport goods and about the transportation situations across Angel Grove, seeing as how you now have to order and get food for 115.
Apparently, Quentin knows a very good path.
Wow, we did not know.
So I'm
mess.
just gonna I'm gonna just read these scores out. So Eddy got a 14, which is golf clap. Quentin got a 20, which is great. Jane got a 2, which is not good. Cecily got a 4, and then Juicy got a 7. We're not going to worry about a specialization for that, since you rolled really well. But basically, so Quentin, you're starting to think about 115 people. Even if you get it from a grocery store, it has to get to the park somehow, unless you're going to have them deliver it.
Yeah.
So the next part of this journey is, how are you going to get whatever you decide to get? How are you getting it to, and I have a name for this, I made up a name for the park, the Fielding Community Park and Center.
Oh.
Does anybody have a car or a van, truck, something that would
We
be
could
able to
probably
haul
all
a
fit
lot?
in my mom's van.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear that?
I have a wagon.
A wagon.
Like a station wagon?
A wagon.
No, I just have a wagon. It's at my house, and I don't live that far. But if we needed to like move things from the the van to the wagon to the spot, I don't know. Because I know
That's
that
actually not a
sometimes
bad
people
idea.
get a little mad if you drive on grass.
Oh, yeah, no, going from the van to the actual spot in the park, the wagon will be very useful. Good idea. So is the plan then to go try to figure out how to get Brick's mom's van and then get the wagon and then hit the store?
Yeah, let me give her a call.
Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Okay. And we're gonna we can continue this food conversation if you want to, or we can say that it was at least minorly successful, and we can move on to the next day when you're opening the park and bringing people into your food bosoms, as it were.
All right. And
Foodisms.
Yes.
was it Jane and Jane that said that she was good at cooking or can cook? Was there anyone else that mentioned?
It was
I'm pretty
Jane and
good.
Cecily, and then
Cecily.
But I think for the
Eddy
sense
was willing
of
to help.
feminism, we should
Right.
have some men help.
I mean,
Oh.
Quentin would be all about helping to cook. It's just he doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of
Perfect.
experience doing it. So
Eddie's
I mean,
all
he
about
could definitely
then
be
you
a
can
good
volunteer
set of helping
to
hands.
lend a hand.
Yeah.
Well, there's two things that are going to happen that will make this a very fun conversation to think on in about 5 minutes. One is that Bulk and Skull will eventually show up, and I don't know how many people are familiar with the Power Rangers. Helpful beings in the first.
Yeah.
The
The
other
fine,
part-
upstanding gentleman.
Fine,
Yeah.
upstanding gentlemen. The other part is the other things that are about to happen. But
Right.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Fielding Community Park and whether
All right.
you're cooking or whether you're helping to serve or whether you're just going to put the food down and hang out. A few things to know about the Fielding Community Park and Center. It's probably the biggest commercial park in the state. There were really concerted efforts when creating it to include things like hiking trails. People have botany and gardening classes here. There are early morning movement Tai Chi for senior citizen classes. If the power grid goes down in the city, which is becoming more and more of a thing with Rita Repulsa hovering in the skies, it even has...
Wait, what?
So Rita Repulsa is an open known thing in the tabletop game here.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so people are used to her. They don't have the extent of the weirdness yet because the Power Rangers don't yet exist in this world. But like, weird things have been happening in Angel Grove for a while, is what I got from the conceit of the Power Rangers, like, game man.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Fielding Community Park actually now has its own power grid, so that if something should happen to the rest of the city, there's at least that as a light and a beacon and a place to meet. It's also perpetually always somehow summer in the park in a weird sort of way. It always kind of has the smell of fresh cut grass, and it always makes you think of summer, even in the middle of winter. There's plenty of room to not just toss around a frisbee like the Angel Grove Ultimate Frisbee League. There is a junior motocross course and an easily accessible muscle park for those wishing to do outdoor weightlifting and skill training for things like Angel Grove Ninja Warrior, which is a real thing that definitely happens. A whole bunch of picnic tables were saved. It's a wide swath of areas near a basketball court. And the people currently on the courts, they are being very loud as you pull up to the parking lot with your stuff. And they don't really seem to be playing a basketball game as much as they just kind of want to be heard and noticed. And they're just kind of throwing the basketball around and being a little bit of a nuisance. You don't recognize them, but then Angel Grove is a big city, so you don't normally recognize a lot of people. You're just glad that they're not smoking. So you arrive, and as you arrive and you start bringing the food to these picnic tables, Bulk and Skull appear. And Bulk and Skull really have garnered their nicknames well. Bulk is kind of short and is very round, and Skull is trying not to be as tall as he actually is. He hunches over a little bit so that he's not taller than Bulk. It's a very strange sort of friendship they have. You'll admit that to yourself. And they don't really want to help. But they're just sort of standing around, and they decide to appoint themselves executive managers, and there's a lot of pointing. But kids are going to start showing up here shortly, and Bulk and Skull are there, and you have a whole bunch of food, and now is the time to set up.
Bulk and Skull theme song.
Was Cecily, did she have a farm that she grew up on or lives at right now? Or something?
No.
Okay. You just have chickens?
I have kind of offbeat parents.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I remember hearing the chicken thing. I just wasn't sure if that meant there were other things that there were there as well, or is it just chickens?
There's some peculiarities that would go with that. So, yeah.
Okay.
The description of her father made me think like Gomez at.
Yeah.
I mean, the energy is probably right.
Yeah.
Different clothing style.
Yeah.
Cecily is pretty much just she's got that kind of weird cottagecore vibe, and it goes throughout her entire family. If you'd ever see them, for a very apparent reason. I don't know if she would tell everybody.
Okay, I have put the map up, but the little red things are picnic tables. The brown things are like trails, and the green blocks are like trees. So you can kind of decide where you want your character to be. The big orange thing is the basketball court where the 5 people are currently heckling you, and you can decide where you want your character to be.
Where would the the grills be set up? You have access to basically everything up to the orange basketball court. Really, that's kind of the cutoff. So you could put that. You can decide where you want that to go. Okay.
And then you can just stand in that area because that would be helpful.
Well, I'll just say that I'm by one of the grills where I put my person, and I'll be like lighting the grill and getting it ready to cook, like, I guess, hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff.
Cecily's going to be putting things together, making things look nice, and helping, like, kind of facilitate that. Because, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many
Eddie's gonna trying to help, but probably gonna be a bit distracted with the rowdy folks, and maybe even with Skull and Bulk. Just because he kind of would like to avoid a conflict kind of erupting, is trying to be mindful as to if any tensions arise.
Yeah, and Bulk and Skull are very good at wanting to create conflict. So, like,
where are Bulk and Skull?
I haven't put them on yet. I'm waiting to see where you put all of yourself on. Rick, where would you like to be?
I guess I should be helping everyone else out, so I'll kind of maybe hang out with where everyone else is hanging out, or by the basketball court, maybe.
Stuff that I bought. Okay, so I'm going to put there's Skull. So I'm going to have Skull be Bulk and Skull. So they're going to be over here, just like sitting down. They're really just like, now they kind of can tell that Eddy is being impacted by them the most. So Eddy is the one they are starting to kind of focus on a little bit. So if you have Eddy like breathing techniques, now is the time to use them. And then I'm going to have people start coming in. So there'll be 5 early bird students coming in.
Yeah, if people are coming in, I'll probably start greeting them and directing them to kind of where stuff is and where to go.
We'll have it's a big park, so we'll say they're coming up because the trails, the brown things aren't like hiking trails. They're like those like asphalt trails people see where it's made of like recycled tires and whatnot. Okay, so you got 5.
Those are always really cool.
Yeah. By the way, Bulk and Skull's fashion sense does not lend itself well to summer. They wear like neckerchiefs and fake studded Hot Topic stuff and like layers of denim and fake leather. So while they're trying to get a rise out of Eddy, they are like slowly melting in the midday sun, which is just kind of fun to know. You're settling into your jobs. A few early students have started to appear. Maybe you know the students, maybe you don't know the students, but I need everyone to give me initiative. So what was your initiative?
Like we got Cecily and Brick at the top at 19.
Okay, and who's after Cecily and Brick at 19?
Eddy at 13.
Okay.
Then Jane at 11.
Okay.
And then Quentin at 2.
Quentin, you're going to be surprised. So you're not going to be able to do anything in your first turn. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that because what's going to happen
I
is
fumbled on
initiative.
initiative.
You're not even going to get to do the roll because you're just going to be so surprised by the thing you see. Cecily and Brick, I want you to roll a d20 and give me the score, and we're going to see who gets a higher score.
A 12. Oh,
I got a
damn.
19.
Cecily's just rocking it.
Okay, so then Cecily is going to go first. So Cecily will be 19A, and Brick will be 19. That being said, in the order, so starting with Cecily, I need you to roll me your best speed skill. Whatever your best skill is in the speed category, I need you to roll that for me and tell me what it is.
I have acrobatics and finesse at the same skill, so let's do acrobatics.
All right, tell me what score you got.
Let's see. 18.
Okay, Brick, give me your best score in the speed category.
Okay. I'm rolling it. Targeting. Oh.
How'd you do? That didn't sound good.
I got a 9.
Okay. Eddy, give me a speed score.
I will be doing finesse. Did not do well.
How'd you do?
I have a total of an 8.
Okay. And Jane.
I think I'm going to roll infiltration.
As long as it's speed, that's what I care about.
13.
13.
Good job.
And Quentin, you don't even get to roll because you got a 2. I apologize for that.
To be fair, I probably would have rolled initiative anyways for that one.
So Quentin and Eddy, you're both going to be hit in the back of the head or in the side of the head with basketballs. And they're basketballs, so it's not like the end of the world, but it's definitely like a problem that you just got hit by 5. Well, they were people a minute ago.
Oh no.
There's no way to really describe what happens except to say that they are gray. They sound like something between like an owl and what you imagine a jellyfish sounds like at midnight at an aquarium.
Murloc.
And those 5 basket players have all turned into putty patrollers.
Now, given that the general expectation of the world is a little bit of weirdness, would this be our first time encountering something like this, or
up close? The authorities of the city have done their top level shelf normal best to make sure that you never have to deal with the putty patroller, and there are 5 of them. So here's a few things to know about the combat system of the Essence 20 is that you don't just have to do combat. You have lots of options for things you can do in combat here. Obviously, combat is favoring, punching and things like that. Even if you don't have a classic weapon, you can have a temporary weapon that you just take from the scene. You can use your hands and your fists. But you can also do what's called surprise, which is what Quentin has, where they're not going to be able to go the first round. You do have the option to hide. You do have the option to reset your initiative once in a combat in a session. You can create what's called a contingency action, which if this happens, then I do this. But you can only declare it during a phase, and you have to declare before you do. You can choose to defend, and if you can plan how you'll defend, that'll give you a +5 to your defense. You can lend assistance to a friendly character that you must be in reach, and being in reach is using the grid paper like you would in D&D, where each square is about 5 feet. This will come into play later when you have Power Ranger weapons, because they have different reaches. But like if you're in the square next to someone, you have the reach. And you can sprint, which is twice your movement, but that takes your free action, and all you get to do is sprint in that turn. I will also let you know that I have put up some story point things into this combat that if you get them done, and I will not tell you what they are, but if you achieve those goals that I have set for you, you have the option of getting more story points for your pool. And your story points do accrue, but bearing in mind that you are level 1 and you are without Power Ranger armor currently, and there are essentially bulk skull and civilians on site, you are right now not Power Rangers, but you have had basketballs thrown at your head. The putties have their gray sights on you, for lack of better terminology. So here's now where we start our first combat, and I'm very excited about this. And Cecily, you have the highest. The putty initiative is at 10. So the putties will go
Looks like after
Jane.
Everybody and
except for you. Man,
of course,
you
I got
had
beamed in the head with a basketball while
sand hot dogs
in the middle of eating a grape. So,
Oh, that's
you might be choke for a moment.
I'm not going to make you roll medicine, but that's like a great moment right there.
In my head, that's why he's moving so slow in this first round.
So, Cecily, you are up first. You have just watched 5 human beings become 5 gray blob clay creatures, and they have their sights set on you.
After letting out a kind of sound, she is going to look for a tree to break off a piece of a branch.
You'll be able to get to a tree, and I'll let you break off a branch, but you won't be able to do anything with it.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I work well with something. Is there anything long enough to act as like a de facto sword anywhere around me?
You've got the picnic tables are pretty new. There are trees, though. If you want to try to roll,
Would she possibly have like one of those long grilling spatulas?
I mean, that's possible.
I could go with a metal spatula. I probably have one in my hand. Like
it's an impromptu.
I think that works.
Anything that you use that's not your Power Ranger weapon is an impromptu weapon. But as long as
you could also have one of those long 2-pronged forks used for.
Oh, those are scary. Yeah,
too.
for sure. Yeah. No, I think that she has a spatula.
Right. Yeah. Either way, spatula is more comedic, but
hilarious.
All right, Cecily, brandish yon tongs at the putties.
Yes.
Brandish your tongues as ye may, and Brick, you have just witnessed humans becoming putties. What is your first act?
I got it. Okay. I'm very close to. Looks like I'm very close to Vulcan's skull.
You are very close to Vulcan's skull.
I'm noticing that. Oh my gosh, these things just turned into putties. And a quick question: these people that are on the map are no longer people, right?
The things on the orange basketball courts are putties.
Are the putties?
But
the people that are like in the
they're civilians. They are just as surprised as you. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, you're all civilians at this point, but for lack of better terminology, you're quote unquote civilians.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna maybe head over towards like Vulcan's skull and maybe like try and like I'm trying to tell them to get out of here. Either that or I'm going up there and I'm being like trying to shield them from maybe a potential putty attack.
Okay, you can use intimidation if you want, or you could use persuasion if you want to talk. If you want to anticipate defending them, I'll give you that, but there's not really a thing for that. So, but you have the ability to talk. You can use your skill during combat. So if you want to shout at them to like leave, you can totally do that.
Yeah, I'll shout at them to get out of the way. I want to get as many people that shouldn't be in this as possible out.
Give me an intimidation.
Oh,
so that's a 9.
Makes sense. They wouldn't listen to me anyway.
Bulk looks at you and goes, "What are you? A scaredy cat? They're nothing. Look at them. They're gray." And that didn't do anything. They're not going to help, to be clear. They're just critiquing you shouting at them, essentially.
Okay.
Would you like to have moved closer to them, or would you have stayed where you were?
How far can I move?
You have 30 feet of ground movement, and they were maybe 10 feet away.
Yeah, I'm gonna move closer to them. Can I move myself? Yeah, I like that. Maybe one more space up, or is that too far?
No, that's good. Okay, and that will be your turn. Eddy, I think you were one of the ones that got hit with the basketball, right? Okay,
yep.
Well,
so
you've been hit with the basketball, and you have just watched some putties happen. What do you want to do?
Would I be able to pick up the basketball, or did it maybe bounce away a little too far or anything like that?
Give me a finesse. Okay, so you caught the basketball, and it was a very impressive spin move. And maybe Brick saw it out of the corner of their eye, but you're just going to have to be impressed on your own that you're able to do that. But yeah, with that kind of critical success with the 21, I will give you 2 actions that you can take, whereas I would only normally give you.
Right now, I'm concerned about the well-being of the bystander to the left of the putties. So I want to shout at the grouping of 3 and throw the basketball at the one closest to the bystander and try to get their attention.
Okay, I want you to give me, with edge, I want you to give me either intimidation or persuasion, whichever one is higher for you.
I'm going to do persuasion, please.
With edge, so it should give you the higher score.
Wow.
Okay, you have persuaded the person up court that they should definitely they were frozen in terror, and your voice snapped them out of it, and they have left the scene. They are okay. So you have successfully gotten one of the civilians away, and you are throwing. Are you throwing with intent to harm? Are you throwing basketball out of anger with no sense of where you're going with it, or what was the intent?
My general thing is like dodgeball right to the dude's face kind of feeling was where my brain was.
Dodgeball right to the dude's face. Give me a might. I'm going to call that a might because it's like a raw power thing.
15.
15 is really good. You have caused one of the putties at least to take a step back. And the middle putty will be surprised because they are surprised. They are not usually, people usually just like run. They don't really seem to do much. So the middle putty will be surprised and will not move on the next minute. Congratulations, Eddy. Good job.
Yay.
Jane,
Eddy,
it
I
is
didn't know you
your
had
turn.
an arm like that.
You can kind of, I'm shrugging my shoulders like,
So I am at the grill and I would like to, in one hand, pick up one of the spatulas and in the other hand, pick up one of the pokers if I can. So I have one in each hand, or can I only have one?
Only one.
Okay.
I'm going to say only one just because two-handed weapons are a little more above your pay grade yet, even for impromptu.
Okay. I'm going to pick up the poker then. And I want to go closer. And I have 30 feet of ground movement.
Yeah, and you should be able, with that, you should be able to get to the square right before the little black things in front of the basketball orange rectangle I made is like a fence, chain link fence. That's the word. You should have the ability to move yourself up, though. So you should be able to get to the square before the one back.
I don't think I want to lose it. Okay. I think that's all I want to do for now.
All right. Very brave of you, because it is now the putty's turn.
Oh, dear.
And you've garnered the attention of one of them. So one of them is going to come up to you. This one is coming this way. That one is surprised. This one is coming back down to here. And this one is going this way. But the one in front of you, Jane, is going to use martial artistry. And what's great in this game is you can't die in this first session. You only really faint if you have 0 health. But you can recover that in the next. So this putty patroller is going to use its martial art power. No specialization, though. I'm not going to have it use its martial art specialization. So it does a 5. So it's actually kind of unsure about what to do with being stood up to. So it tries to it shoves at your shoulder, but it's not strong enough to really move you. But you feel it. They are very solid. They feel more human than clay. And if that's something you wish to relay to your companions, now is a good time as then.
Yes, I would like to call out to anybody that can hear me that it feels more like they're clay than anything else.
And Quentin, you're surprised, so you don't do anything this round. But if you have a free action, I will let you shout something. You just can't grab anything. So if you feel like being super intimidating or singing at them to try to get them to go away.
To use persuasion to try to get some of the bystanders away, about how many could I project it towards? Could I do it towards the 3 closest to me?
How loud are you in a panic situation?
I think he definitely has the potential to be able to project his voice quite well between some of the theater work and everything that he's done.
If you get over a 15, I would give you all 3.
All right. That is what I'm going for. Oh, so close.
Oh, so close. So you got one, and the one is oh yeah, that's the other one is for a second they're are you gonna be, and then realizes that you're
no, get out of here, save yourself.
So it's and I'm gone, and peace be with you.
Yeah, try to bring other people with you.
Also with you. So there we go. So that was the first round. That's very exciting. The first combat round down. And now we're back at the top of the round. Cecily, you've got songs of death and doom. What would you like to do now?
I would love to try to get forward and whack one.
You have 30 feet.
I'm going to be right there, yielding. I'm going to look around, actually. Is there any water in the vicinity? Do we have access to a hose, perhaps?
There are water fountains. There is not a hose, unfortunately.
Not a hose. Okay.
I will say you do have the ability to throw objects that are impromptu. You don't just have to use them like swords.
That's true. Can I hurl this the spatula tong thing at this putty?
You can hurl that. with a targeting.
Perfect. Let's give it a shot.
Actually, give me targeting. Give me with an edge because this is something you actually have a little bit of skill in. I would think.
Yeah.
You hit this putty right between the eyes, and there's no other way to say this, but Jane, you watched this weird clay person get harpooned between the eyes and dissolve into nothing before you. Like, it's...
Cecily's going to go, well, I guess axe throwing does have its benefits.
That was a great throw.
That's the best response to a putty attack ever. That was a great throw. Thank you. Britt, they can be destroyed. You've just watched. Well, I don't know what your vision was, but I'm assuming that you just saw the putty dissolve into nothingness.
Yeah, I did, and that was crazy. I'm looking around my feet trying to see if there's any rocks or anything I can pick up to throw.
There are rocks. You can pick them up to throw.
Well,
that's going to be all throwing is going to be like a targeting thing. So
perfect.
Unless you're doing it with like all of your might and all of your strength, it's going to be a target.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna move, and then can I pick up some rocks and maybe throw a couple of them at him?
Yes, you could even move over one more to the left if you want, and use this tree as cover in case they decide to retaliate.
That's a great idea. I'd love to do that.
Sure.
Yeah. So Brick is like, oh, I should use my baseball skills.
Yeah.
And
use those
see if I
baseball
can
skills.
throw some rocks at this guy and get him out of here.
Do that with edge, because that is kind of your thing, is the baseball.
Okay. 22.
Whoa.
Nice. So
man.
this putty, like, you actually, like, this putty's arm goes off before the rest of the putty, and like you get like a clap from Skull. Like, Skull starts clapping a little bit, and then Bolt kind of looks at Skull and goes, no. And so Skull stops. I'm actually going to give you a story point for that. So please add a story point to your story point pool on your character sheet. So that was kind of amazing.
Thank you. Hard work does pay off.
Stay in school, kids, and play baseball. Jane, I don't know if you saw that, but that was kind of amazing.
She's just like seeing things coming flying at her from this way. She's seeing rocks being flown over this way, and she doesn't know where to look. She doesn't know what's going on.
It is Eddy's turn.
I'm probably feeling a little overhyped at the moment, considering how well things are going so far. And so I'm going to kind of try to watch a little too much wrestling on TV kind of thing, and try to harpoon the guy that's the putty in front of me. Basically just charge at him and just jump into him.
Do you have a lot of strength normally?
Strength of 5.
You have a strength of 5. Okay. So I'm going to give you... I want you to roll a might.
Might. Yes, sir.
Woo! You push this putty down. They don't break like the other putties, and you are now grappled because you've kind of hit their specialty of being too close. So you're grappled, but you're on top of the putty. So, like, yeah.
Win some, lose some.
Win some, lose some indeed. Jane, Eddy has just slow danced their way to the ground with the putty, essentially. No other way to put that, really.
I am gonna rush over to next to him. And so what I'm imagining is the putty is on the ground and he is like on top of him, holding him down. Is that correct?
It's like a grappling thing. You're not going to hit Eddy. You're definitely going to hit putty before you hit Eddy.
Okay. I am gonna take the like grilling poker stick and I'm gonna slam it down onto the putty's head.
Great. Give me a
brutal.
Might.
Yeah.
Give me a might for that fatality.
Good thing it won't hit Eddy.
It's think I'm in this
Not
splash
that
zone
kind
at
of
this point.
show.
Oh no, I failed.
Oh no!
I failed.
You hit Eddie.
Oh,
you
no.
did not mean to hit Eddie.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Eddie
I'm
is
so
no
sorry.
longer.
Fear was
Eddie
too great.
Eddie is no longer grappled. Eddie is now next to the putty, but the putty is
I'm so
as
sorry.
surprised. Like I said, you can't die, but you are definitely you are conscious because I'm not the kind of GM. But you have just been hit with the poker.
yeah, that's smart. Probably got
Not
like a
great.
mark.
I'm so sorry.
Somewhere like-
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
How's my face looking? Because I have this feeling like right along here.
no. Just a
Jane,
straight
you're
red
supposed
line.
to hit the
Red
gray
line.
ones.
I'm so sorry.
You're supposed to hit the gray ones. Oh God. So
I
the
didn't
gray
realize I
one-
was that pale.
The gray one is going to get up and is going to go this way because they don't want to be part of this nonsense anymore. And this gray one is going to move here. And then this gray one is going to move this way. So now there's one kind of in the center of everybody. And they make that sound that putties make. Yeah, that. It's like the owl and the jellyfish. Quentin, you are no longer surprised. You've been here long enough that it's almost normal now. And there are 3 of them left.
All right. Can I shout to those 2 bystanders again and then do another action?
You can shout at the bystanders.
All right. I will try to get those 2 closest to me to flee once more.
They actually come closer because they're like, "What? What did you say?
So go farther away.
What, bro? What, bro?
Farther.
I think
Farther
they're
away.
interested in watching the rest of this play out because we've been
Direction.
Some
and
of
we're
us
gonna
are killing.
we're gonna
some
do
of us.
one more round, and Cecily, you are up.
Can I get forward and reach and grab the spatula that I used to destroy one of those putties and give it another go?
I will give you that with a snag because you're doing a lot in one turn, but you can definitely move and pick it up and do it, but it'll be with a snag.
I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to give it a shot.
You know what? Never hurts to try.
Exactly. We are going
It
to.
says the person didn't get hit by a spatula or fork or whatever it was.
I mean, you win some, you lose some. And that's going to be targeting.
No, that's just actually going to be because you're not throwing it. So, did you run to get it? So you've got to be.
I got to kind of like scoot. Yeah, I got to like scoot and then.
Okay, because you're not throwing it. That's too close to be thrown. So that's
it'd just be-
actually,
Like a stab.
Give me a brawn, actually. Give me a brawn because you're lifting that and you're kind of dragging it up to do what you're. So give me a brawn.
Oh, that's a 5.
So the putty now has something sticking out of where their knee would be. Because they're clay. So you just stuck something in the knee, but it was not enough to break the leg apart and break the putty. You can't tell if they're displeased by the situation or not, though. They just have something in their knee. Yes, that noise. Brick,
Yeah.
It is your turn, and you're batting 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of rocks around if you wish.
Keep the average up. You might have a scout nearby.
I think so, right. You never know who's watching. So, yeah, I'm going to maybe aim for. Maybe I should move, though, huh? Let's
Would you like to
move. Let's move closer to. Does my distance from them affect my throwing ability at all? Or how does that work?
Not in like this form. Like
Not really.
as you get stuff in like power armor, you'll have like more accuracy and things like that. But currently speaking, you're
I'm
human
gonna
with some rock.
I'm gonna stay where I am then, and I'm gonna throw another rock at maybe this putty in the middle here. That's
All right.
the biggest threat to the other people around.
Since it's a little farther, I'm not going to give you edge on this.
The edge,
but
sure.
I'll let you throw with all your might.
Oh, I miss.
You miss. But Bulk and Skull are feeling pretty good about getting out of the area. You've definitely inspired them slightly. Like they're closer to wanting to leave than ever before.
Good. Get him out of here.
Okay. And
You guys are distracting me.
Try harder, Skull calls out, and then Bulk glares at Skull, and just you hear Bulk mutter something, but you have no idea what it was. And Eddy, it is your turn.
All right, so I'm going to be focused on the putty that got away. Try to get back up to my feet, and if I have enough ability to do so, move up next to him and throw a punch at him.
I'll definitely give you mobility to throw a punch. Give me might, because your fist is a blunt weapon.
And fail.
You, well, they don't have ears, but if putties had ears, you would have hit him in the ear, a la Fight Club.
Right in the ear.
The putty is just like, what's happening? What are you doing? Why are you doing this thing?
Good enough to get his attention, at least.
You did get the putty's attention. Congratulations, Eddy. And Jane, Eddy has gotten the putty's attention.
Oh goodness. I want to try to stab it again with this fork.
You can stab it. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to stab. Because it is a stabbing weapon and you have some incentive, I'm going to let you actually do this with finesse.
19. Yes.
19. Well, it was annoyed and distracted enough that the thing goes into its side, and Jane, you have bits of putty all over you now. It was like you were at one of those pottery shows and got just too close to the exhibit. But it's no longer an issue, so mazel tov.
Yay.
Jane, the putties have a chance. So one putty is going to get close enough to Brick, and one putty is going to hit, or they're going to attempt to hit Cecily. So it's going to try. It's actually going to try to use alertness. It's going to try to frighten you, is what it's going to try to do. It does that thing where when a bad guy raises its hand and it tries to make itself bigger than it actually is. It does that move where it's like hands are in the air waving around like it just doesn't care. Brick, you are not so lucky. The putty next to you, the putty next to you is going to use its might in its martial arts skill.
No. Oh, you call that a punch?
It hit the tree. It was aiming for you, and it hit a low-hanging branch. So there's that. And thank you for taunting the putty. It doesn't really know English, but there you go. Quentin, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I feel like these two bystanders aren't going to get moving no matter what I do at this point. But it's what I've been trying, so I'm going to keep doing that again.
It's the start of your fan base.
Right, I know. I'm
you
going
could
to
use
take a step towards them.
instead of intimidation. Like you have.
Well, I've been doing persuasion.
Okay.
Is what I have been doing. But yeah. But I'll take a step towards them and talk
instead.
directly to them and be like, you need to get out of here, please. So I'll try it again. Because I should have a good chance. But I don't, because I roll like crap.
We don't want to go without you. What are you going to do?
I'll be fine. I don't even know you two.
You're too pretty to come with us.
As you
I imagine that one of them pulled out some popcorn and was just eating it on the park bench, watching all this happen.
At least have a seat. Come on.
As you say to them, "I'll be fine." The whole world kind of just stops. You don't really know what's happened other than the two people were mid-word.
Is it like everything else is stopped, but I still move?
Stopped. You have stopped as well. Everyone has stopped. Everything has stopped happening. Everybody's eyeballs still work and things like that. Like you're not trapped or anything, but the air has just stilled, and all of a sudden it feels like there's an earthquake moving through your body, and your vision goes completely white. And then you are not at a park. You are in the air. And then just as suddenly, you are in a bolt of lightning, and then just as suddenly, all five of you are somewhere else in a really vast room, that has kind of like a a virtual reality 90s vibe to it. Like it's a really big room, and you can't tell how big it is because the edges have like a night sky vibe to them. You're standing or kneeling or however you landed on. Actually, I'm going to have everybody roll for how they landed. And I want everyone to roll for me. I worked this out. Everyone roll me acrobatics so we know how you landed at the end of that.
Do I get to like use my skill?
Nope. Everybody is surprised. So no one is doing this with the snap, but everybody roll acrobatics.
I land on my feet.
I land on my face.
Didn't your face just get hit with something too?
Yes,
It's not a good day for your face.
No,
Like,
no, it isn't. No,
started
it
with
isn't.
the
And
sand?
that's my character's moneymaker right there. Man.
So-
Cecily did not do well.
Yeah. But I'll just land on the floor and be like, oh, it's okay. I think I'm just going to stay down here for a moment.
So Eddy and Quentin are just like sprawled out on this metal grating, looking down into, by the way, underneath the metal grating, it's really dark. So you can't tell how far down it is, but it looks like nothingness. Cecily,
Well, it's a
you're
good
kind
thing
of
this
like,
grading stopped us.
you're kind of like on your knees a little bit, like you're like staggered. Jane, you ended up teleporting. That's the only word you can think of. And you're like just kind of propped against like a console, which is weird, but you're not like on the floor. So yay for that. And then Brick is just like, you're like in a baseball position, like at some point between the park and like the end of the teleportation cycle, you're just like, you just like struck like a familiar baseball pose, and your center of gravity was just like, and we've landed. And it was kind of neat, actually, come to think of it, considering you weren't ready for it. So you're in this vast night room, and who wants to notice the giant empty fish tank in the corner?
Me.
So there is a giant empty fish tank in the corner, and on either side of it are these like pillars of light color ribbon things that are really big. But there's definitely a giant empty fish tank in one. Like you can't reach it. Like you can't walk to it. It is against a far wall, far from the grating, but it is a giant empty fish tank.
You guys are seeing this, right? Where are
Are we like
Yes, but
trespassing?
honestly, I don't know what Brick put into the punch, but this is
we?
all
Guys,
too
I
much.
promise I did not. I did not put this much in the punch. This is a little too crazy.
Why are you guys in my dream?
1 minute we were fighting those gray monster things, and then the next we're here and there's this giant fish tank in front of us.
And Jane, at that moment, you notice the viewing globe. That's the opposite side that you can actually touch and see, which looks like a giant crystal ball on a pedestal. It's blank and empty, and it doesn't reflect anything, but there's definitely also a giant crystal ball in the room with you.
Do you guys see that?
Yeah,
Giant-
Jane, was this your dream?
No, but now I feel like I'm in a new dream, and I don't know why all of you are here with me, because this is weird.
Yeah, this is definitely the punch talking. That's what this is.
I don't think it's a dream because I feel everything. I don't know.
Jane, also the console. You landed against who landed against the console? Is that you, Jane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the console that you're kind of against starts to beep, and there are definitely switches and diodes and buttons on it. And you notice there are definitely 6 of these consoles, just kind of around the room, kind of creating a barrier to make the space not feel like you're going to fall into the edge of nothingness. But you're definitely all on this metal grating together in this dream.
When the console next to me starts beeping, I jump up. I didn't break it. I didn't touch it. I swear. It wasn't me. You guys, it's beeping. I didn't do it.
I think the beeping's a good thing. I think that means it's working still.
Yeah.
What it's doing,
if
I have
it was
no idea.
smoking, I'd be really freaked out.
Yeah.
Does anyone know anything about computers?
This
a
doesn't
little.
look like a
A little?
computer anyways, by the way. There's no monitor. So as far as you can tell, it's just a stand of switches, dials, things to flip, and things that, and a few things you can like twist. It's like a weird giant metal boppet, for lack of better terminology. Because
I
doesn't
feel
seem
like
to
this
go
is just a giant like sensory play thing. I don't know. It's hard to describe what this place is.
It's not like an escape room or anything, is it?
The second you say
No, it does seem like one.
The second you say escape room, you hear, "Aye, that was a close one. I got you out of there just in time." And
Whoa.
out of nowhere, for lack of better terminology, robot appears, a 3-foot-tall robot with a Star Trek Next Generation visor where I should be. That looks fairly intelligent, but it is slightly unsteady on their feet. But their voice somehow manages to convey worry and nervousness, and they've definitely just muttered "aye" at you. Just a general aye to the whole of the room.
I don't know what you are, but you're adorable.
I'm Alpha 5. Thank you. Am I adorable? What is adorable? Is adorable
Adorable's
good?
a good thing, yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's an impressive costume. I really like, and Cecily's gonna be like looking around to see where like the seams are. She's like, this has got to be a costume.
The Thunderbolt is a family Thunderbolt, but it's not a. It's got the red chest plate and has that yellow Thunderbolt. It's Alpha 5 from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I don't know how else to explain it to you.
I know, but she's convinced that they're cosplaying something.
Yeah, I was dancing around it, but I was like, I just have to say it now. And Alpha 5 is
great.
not offered by this doll. So
I like the whole weird kind of esoteric, futuristic ambience this place has.
Wait. Is this an escape room? Like, how many clues do we get?
I don't know what an escape room is, but I was helping you escape from the putties. I'm really glad that I got you out of there just in time. You're at the command center. Welcome.
Wait, were you the one that did that sliders teleport tube thing? That was weird.
I don't know what sliders is, but I did teleport you. Teleport is the right word for it.
Oh, how?
Awesome. So that really happened. That legitimately just happened.
Is nobody else questioning that just happened? Like you guys are just accepting this? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so Brick is in the corner,
look around.
wherever Brick's at. Brick is looking around at everybody, kind of like just casually hanging out.
Well, we should also were just fighting like clay people.
I guess, but like this is a little weirder than we did that because we were like caught in the moment fighting clay people.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
You
And
fought
none
those.
of
Do you
this
think
is
any of this
making
has to do
sense.
with that lady in the sky?
You fought those
what's her
putties.
name?
You weren't ready to fight those putties yet. You just weren't ready. They're the worst. The putty patrol is just the worst. You know. It's all
I don't know.
burgeoning.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well,
was your
all
name,
I know is
Alpha?
this is probably the best picnic I've been to in a while.
Fair enough.
What was it, Johnny 5?
Alpha 5. Oh, Johnny 5. Who is Johnny 5? I don't have him in my family tree, but I am Alpha 5, and the second Alpha 5 says, and the fish tank on the far wall. Brick, have you been keeping an eye on the empty fish tank out of curiosity?
Yeah, I've been kind of just staring at it this whole time.
So the giant fish tank comes to life, and there is a giant floating white silver head in it now. And Brick, just like, I don't know if you have ever fallen over out of like surprise, but it's a very impressive, very like energized kind of like Wizard of Oz electricity entrance, and you're definitely startled, at least a little.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
all of you see a giant head in a fish tank, and that
Whoa.
Alpha 5 says is Zordon.
These
Zordon?
effects are incredible.
And this keeps getting weirder.
Okay, all right.
Pretty
So
cool.
Is this
I
like
think
a
I
prank
think I'm
the
getting
seniors
this.
play on grad juniors?
Man, if this is really freaking
yeah,
good.
no, this is pretty good. So, Zordon, I guess what's the first puzzle to get out of here?
Greetings, I am Zordon, and this is not a puzzle, nor is it a game, but it is my honor to meet you. I think I should explain who I am, who Alpha 5 and I are, if you would like to listen.
I don't think we're going anywhere else. Yes. That would be great.
Yeah, I don't see door or stairs or anything, so I guess we're sitting here.
I mean, thanks for saving us from the clay guys.
It was important to me to save you. The Putty Patrol, a creation of Rita Repulsa, is quite ominous, and though they do not look like they are very dangerous, they can be in the right hand. I am an interplanetary being that has found refuge on Earth and has become quite taken with your planet as it closely resembles my own before my planet was destroyed by the evil Rita Repulsa, amongst others. Rita is responsible for the putties that attacked you today and all the other dark anomalies that place Angel Grove and the Earth in danger.
Wow, this is all really heavy.
So, welcome to Earthrealm.
Thank you.
Zordon, do you mind telling us what we're doing here?
I would enjoy very much to tell you what you are doing here, for it is of the utmost importance, and it is my honor to tell you that you have been chosen, that for this Earth that is in danger, and that the reason I have teleported you here today is that I believe, given the bravery, and courage, and ingenuity you have shown today, you have the ability to become Power Rangers. Oh, they don't have them in the system, do they, Alpha? And Alpha goes, aye, Zordon, I don't think they have them here yet.
Are those like super-powered park rangers? Do we have park rangers?
Yes, you have park rangers, but they are not
you get like a badge?
great defense force. The Power Ranger is a defense force. They are a beacon of hope, and a Power Ranger is generally of the planet they protect, and they show much promise to become what they will. Generally, Power Rangers are of the age of 18 years old because they have room to grow in life, and they are open to what the world will have for them. Some Power Rangers choose to stay in the city they live in and defend it. Some travel to other worlds. But each Ranger is given a transformational ability into an armor suit and weapons that which they will use to defend themselves and their world. No two Rangers are alike in this, much as anything else. Does that sound interesting?
Really
So
cool.
we're going to be global protectors. That sounds great.
You just have to get like a transformation thing, man.
I mean, this is a lot of responsibility, but yeah, I'm for it. I don't know what about you guys.
This is for real, or are we like in a game? Like, I still don't like.
I mean, even if it's not, still saying yes.
Like, if this is a
doesn't
prank,
seem like
this
a bad
is kind
thing.
of nuts, but
I mean, it
Man.
would. I mean, it sounds kind of fun at the very least.
This is for real, Miss Adwell. You have been granted great potential, and it is up to you how you use it. Your heart,
Zordon knew your name,
your
by the way.
strength.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Turner, I know all of your names.
Getting
Oh.
creepy now. Good job. All right.
and what's
I-
my favorite color? Wait, no, never mind. Just ignore that.
I
feel
know
like
your
that's a
favorite
leading
color
question.
because your favorite color has chosen you,
Oh.
whether you know what your favorite color is or not. I am glad to hear that you accept the badge of great honor to being a Power Ranger, but it does not come easily. You will spend a great amount of time training and learning not just how to fight alongside each other, but about how you fight as a Ranger. You must always work to overcome obstacles yourself. You cannot just rely on your transformational powers. You can also never reveal that you are a Ranger to others, or you will risk losing the protection of your power coin and your ability to protect them. And you must never use your power for personal gain, for in that moment, your power coin, will become corrupted, and your choice to be a Ranger will be taken back from you. For that is the way of the Morphin grid, which supplies power.
Oh,
So they're coins, not like a ring. All right, do we recharge them with something that's like not really a lantern, but wait, you don't like a fishbowl, so they're like coins and fishbowl.
This is an interdimensional containment unit. This is not a fishbowl. I am not a fish.
Jane, Brick, are
this
you two
sounds
doing
great.
all right with all this?
This sounds really great. The only thing is I've got baseball practice.
You will find
Dude's really good at it.
that there are more
Yes.
important things than baseball in this world, but you may also find your time as a Power Ranger assists you in becoming better at things like this baseball. The Morphin Grid has chosen you because you have greatness within you, and you have the ability and the power to become something greater. whether or not that aligns with who you currently are and the goals you currently have, or for the goals of the person you will someday be. The Morphin Grid knows you and knows your heart. It knows your love of this baseball. Also knows that there is greatness inside of you for things other than baseball as well. Greatness that you showed today at the park as you were tossing rocks at the
Look,
potty.
I was just trying to protect those two bozos from.
I mean, you're doing the right thing.
That's a pretty strong character thing right there. I mean,
And that protection,
knock
that
it.
heart, is at the center of who you are. And that is why the Morphin Grid has chosen you. The Morphin Grid has chosen each of you. And each of you will receive distinct colored armor that talks about the strength of your heart and your character and your physical traits. And each color armor will assist you with an animal and a weapon to be shown to you as time goes on, as you become stronger. And at this point, I want each character to roll their willpower skill. And we're going to go through everybody based on their willpower score. What did we get for our score?
Got a 14.
Cecily also got a 14.
Cecily got a 14. Who else got a 14?
Brick also got a 14.
Brick got a 14. Brick is doing really well with other people's scores today. What else do we have to score?
Quentin has a 16, Jane has a 10, and Eddy has an 8.
Cecily and Brick roll a d20 again, and we'll see which one gets higher. Again,
I got an 18.
Great. You both got 18?
You two are in sync, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Roll
Whoa.
a d4. I don't even roll a d4.
All right.
okay.
I mean, it's fine. I'm not mad about it, but it's okay.
Very funny.
So we're going to start with Brick. Brick Kerrigan. You think you lead with your hand, but you lead with your heart. Your ability to use your eyes as an eagle-eyed sharpshooter, not with just rocks, but also with baseball, allows you an awareness of your surroundings and allows you an ability to lead from behind. You have the strength of character to take a position and pick off enemies from the rear or from the flank. You fill others' hearts with hope and goodwill. And for that reason, you will take the mantle of Pink Ranger. And your animal will be the falcon.
All right. Cool.
That's badass.
Yeah. Thank you, Zordon. Truly an honor. Are we sure about the pink thing?
No, the pink color is great, man. It will look great on you.
You will see over time
Pull it off.
that you fit well as a Pink Ranger. The way that you care for others and the way that you hold a team together will show you that this is not a mistake. Take comfort, Pink Ranger.
All right. You know what,
You will be
Zordon? I
amazing
trust
in
you.
this Game Master says,
You haven't
you
even
have
seen
no
the suit
choice. And
Pretty good
so,
love
as Brick is contemplating this, you feel a rush of pink energy come over you. And for a second, you swear you are in a set of armor that feels like it was made for you. And it makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel lighter on your feet. It makes you feel faster. It's the way that you feel after a big game that you've won, that you've completely smashed it. It gives you like this endorphin runner high that you've never experienced anywhere else in any other time in your life outside of the field. And it feels right to you. And everyone else, just for a brief blink moment of time, only if you're looking at Brick, sees this happen. And it's very brief. And then afterwards, Brick, you are holding what it looks like a gold coin in your hand that flashes pink just for a moment. And either on your belt or in the accompanying other hand is a black dino buckle for your falcon coin to go into. Nothing's going to happen if you do it right now, but you've started to gather your ranger accessories.
Wow, I just felt like a rush. Is that what this power is supposed to feel like?
Yeah, that looked intense.
And Zordon doesn't turn because they don't have a neck. But Zordon's gaze
Rotates.
moves to Cecily, Miss Adwell.
Yes.
You have been chosen to wield the power of the unicorn. The unicorn is associated with the Blue Ranger. The Blue Ranger is a clever ranger. They are known as an expert with different types of technology. But beyond that, the Blue Ranger is one that thinks outside of the box. Often, they are a stranger to others, but they bring great joy to the people they call friends. Yours is a calling of technology, special constructs. Yours is a calling of strength. You are a strong person. The history of all that has come before and the history that will to be will flow through you as the power of the Blue Ranger is yours. And you will get to carry a sword because I can already hear that thought in your brain.
That was my number one question.
And for a moment, your entire body flashes blue. Anyone looking at Cecily at that moment, Cecily flashes blue just the way the brick did pink. And Cecily now has a power coin bearing emblem of the unicorn on it and has a dino buckler in their hand or on their belt if they were wearing a belt. I don't know how. I don't know if belts are cottagecore or not, but you can decide where your dino buckler is. Quentin Turner, it is your turn.
All right.
You are to be chosen as the Yellow Ranger. The Yellow Ranger is known for a dichotomy of things. They are known for being fast, for being nimble, but they are also known for their solutions. The Yellow Ranger is a friend, a confidant. They do not run from a fight. They believe that no obstacle is too big that it cannot be put upon. You have the ability to act quickly, to think on your feet, and you, should the ranger in command ever be incapacitated, will tend to take the reins of leadership. Whether or not you know it yet, you have great power inside of you. And it's not just the speed of your feet, but the speed of your heart that will bring great things to you. Quentin, you have been gifted the alliance with the saber-toothed tiger.
That's
And
pretty awesome.
Quentin
That's a
flashes yellow, just like the first two rangers. And Quentin, you are going to be the Yellow Ranger.
All right, I get a big cat. I like this.
Jane Russell, you are born leader. Your courage is unmatched. You have noble spirits, and you run toward the front line of the fight. You have the ability to lead. You are able to think on your feet as well and solve problems. You have intelligence. You have strength. You have a strong core of knowing who you are, and you have been chosen as the Red Ranger. Jane Russell, the Tyrannosaurus sword, has aligned itself with you, and you have been chosen as the Red Ranger, the leader of the Power Ranger. Jane flashes red.
Way to go, Jane. Nice.
unicorn
Mr.
power.
Thatch, you have waited patiently for your turn. And that is rightly so, because you, at your heart, are a Black Ranger. You are full of charm. You are an entertainer. You are the life of the party. You will help most in team unity and the bond between your fellow warriors. Whether you know it or not, the strength of your heart is the strength that makes you someone who have cooperative ability, someone when chaos is upon the world to stand strong. You are an anchor, and your Zord is the great mastodon that has allied itself to you. Black Ranger, be hale and hearty for your joy and your charm, the joy and the charm of the whole team. And you flash. So this is the weird thing about the show is that the Black Ranger tends to be outlined in purple. So you can decide how much of you is just like in a black power armor and how much of that is like a purplish tinge. But you five are now Power Rangers. Zordon is not going to tell you all what weapons you get because you're not getting weapons yet. You have some weapons that come with your power armor, but your specialized power weapons will come later. So Zordon has anointed the five of you into your armor suits, and you all have your coins and you all have your buckler. And Zordon says to you, Rangers, a promise. I will be watching, and I bid that the power protect you. When you need your power, you will know that it is time, and you instinctively will be able to transform. But only then. Alpha, teleport these teenagers with attitude back to their home. I will guide you as I need to, but you may not need me as much as you think. You will learn so much on this journey. I wish you the best of luck, Rangers of Promise. And Alpha 5 says, as your vision obscures with the color of your power armor, we'll be in touch! And your entire body kind of tingles. Now that you've done the transporter once, you actually kind of start to feel like, it feels like when your foot falls asleep, but it feels like that all over your body. And each one of you is going to land in your home by yourself in a room where no one else is. And you are going to land there about a minute before a family member or a friend or roommate shows up. And I want everyone to roll persuasion for me. Okay.
We get our Power Ranger
go.
powers, and then we all start rolling nice.
Yeah.
So Eddy and Cecily, I want you to roll persuasion again.
Nice.
Okay. So Cecily rolled the lowest, and so Cecily is going to be the only one that has to do this because it's it's a longer than I thought it was going to be. So I'm just going to have Cecily do this. But Cecily, so I don't know who finds you, but the first thing they say is, "Oh my gosh, you were out so late. How was your day?" And that's about the time you realize that it is definitely nighttime.
She is going to turn to her mom and she's going to say, "Oh, you know, I was hanging out with some friends and it just, things got a little crazy. Not crazy, of course, not like crazy, but like a little bit crazy, just like in a fun way. And I don't really hang out with a lot of people. So I figured, why not? It's the end of the year."
Are you okay? You seem a little. Would you like some tea?
I'm dehydrated. Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. And so your loving family member helps you to make some tea. Would anyone else like to do that just for fun? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. I'm gonna have my dad's gonna walk in. Go. Brick, you were out late. I hope you were working on your curveball. Yeah, sorry, Dad. I was out practicing, and I guess I just lost track of time. But practice makes perfect. Am I right?
All right. Okay. So, over the coming weeks, you 5, Rangers of Promise, will get to know each other as a group of warriors, as well as a group of friends and colleagues. You might have never imagined you'd be called upon to protect the Earth, and maybe there's one or two of you that have a sneaking suspicion that maybe Zordon didn't cross all the I's and dot the T's, and maybe you're not the right choice, or maybe you're super on board. But no matter what the case, over the next 12 episodes, you'll find out just how strong you are, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and in some ways, just how human you are. Zordon is right. You all do have the potential, but like anything else in the world, it is what you do with it that counts. Good night, Rangers of Promise, and good night, audience. And as always, may the power protect you. And thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
Goodbye.